What's good, everyone? This is your host, Tarod McKnight, and you are now tuned into Tarodcast. For all of the brand new listeners out there listening to our show for the very first time, welcome. And for all of you returning listeners coming back for another weekly dose of Tarodcast Parenthood, welcome back. Now at Tarodcast, you can take everything we say with a grain of salt. We simply just want to add some flavor to your meal. So if we are doing that, then we are doing our job. Today's episode comes from a place of reflection and interactions that I had with my daughter over this past weekend, and the things that really make me think about myself and what I want to accomplish as a Black father. So without further ado, today's episode topic is, I let my daughter paint a fingernail. This is Tarodcast. Let's get it. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Tarodcast. Again, I'm your host, Tarod McKnight, and right now it is 6:01 in the morning. I want to thank everyone for your patience. It has been a crazy week, and right now, today, it is even a crazier day because we are hot on the heels of determining who our next president of the United States is going to be. And right now, things aren't looking too good, but I hope that you all remember that a lot of the stuff that's going on, regardless of whatever it is that's happening, you are still in control of you. So make sure to find and keep your peace with that. And I believe that you will be okay, regardless of the outcome. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our housekeeping duties. And after that, we'll get on with the show. So if you would like to take our show with you on the go, just know that we are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Podchaser, Castbox, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and YouTube. Tarodcast is also on Throne. Throne is a free live messaging application that allows us here at Tarodcast to exclusively reach our listeners. Make sure to sign up if you'd like to keep the conversations going after the episode. If you're looking for natural oils for ultimate hydration for your hair and skin, hit up The Resilient Lotus at www.theresilientlotus.com. And I failed to mention this before, but on the Resilient Lotus website, if you use the code Tarodcast, you will actually receive a discount on your purchase. I have it in the show notes, and I'm mad at myself for not mentioning it before, but if you use the code Tarodcast, you will receive a discount on your purchase. So make sure to use that. Put that discount code to good use. Also, if you are a lover of authentic chunky salsas and also excellent birria tacos, make sure to reach out to Morenitas Salsitas at www.certain-t, that's CRTN-T.com/Morenitas -salsitas, or dash, for those of you who like to say dash instead of hyphen. And last but not least, if you are in the market for an affordable graphic designer to create your next logo, flyer, album cover, or animated video, check out at Rose Graphism on Instagram. As always, all of this information can be found in our show notes. All right, y'all. So this episode is a parenthood episode. And like I said in the intro, I had spent the weekend with my daughter, and we had a lot of fun. You know, we watched a lot of movies. I did have to work a little bit, but at the same time, you know, being a dad, being someone who has a child, and that child being a young Black girl, I I had a lot of experiences, and I continue to have experiences that I see are going to continue to shape how my daughter not only looks at the world, but also looks at men in general. And for me, that is something that when I think about that, it pushes me to want to be the best and one of the strongest influences on her as possible. Now, when it comes to my daughter, my daughter, if you don't know her, she is a very affectionate child. She is a very brave child. It doesn't matter who you are. She will talk to you and she will say what's on her little 5-year-old mind. And I love that. I love that in our house, we are creating an atmosphere where she feels like she has an equal stake in any conversation that we have. It could be a conversation that doesn't even concern her at all. It's something that we talk about that, has many different topics. And my daughter, she is so intuitive to where if she hears a specific word or she hears a specific phrase, she feels like she can chime in on the conversation. And the funny thing is, and it really shouldn't be funny, but the funny thing is, we let her do that. We give her the autonomy to speak her mind, to contribute to a conversation that she feels that she can actually contribute to. And in her little brain, she hears things and she experiences things that when she feels like she has the ability to say something about it, even if it's completely off subject, she feels comfortable enough to say those things. And because of that, she is someone who is very outspoken. She's not afraid to say how she feels. She's not afraid to tell you about yourself as far as how she sees things. And as she continues to develop, I hope that this is something that never disappears. I hope that it's something that the world doesn't try and take away from her. And as a father, as a parent, I want to do my best to make sure that never happens, because this child of mine, I don't know who she is going to grow up to be. I don't know how she is going to leave her stamp on the world, but I want to give her the best chance possible to leave a mark on this world that will say, my daughter did this, my daughter was this person. And just thinking about that as a parent, especially as a black parent, with all the stuff that's going on in the world that affects us and affects our ability to parent in a way that prepares our children for the world. I think about the fact that my role as a father is one that is not typically occupied in a lot of black families, and unfortunately to the detriment of black families. A lot of black fathers are not present to contribute to their child's upbringing and their child's well-being. And for me, I've always been someone who has wanted to break that cycle. And as long as I am alive, that is going to be my goal. That's going to be my intention, to provide a household where my daughter can ultimately and freely feel the love, like the genuine love of her father. And when it comes to loving my daughter, it's not something that I am trying to do from a place of harshness or a place of fear. I want it to be as genuine as it can possibly be. I want her to know that I have emotions. I want her to know that I also have vulnerabilities, and I want her to be able to, when she grows up, I want her to be able to expect that or to demand that. Because with my daughter, when she was born, she was immediately exposed to skin contact by both myself and also my wife. And we wanted to establish that early on because, studies show that when it comes to a child and their development and their growth, having that skin to skin contact from birth and throughout their infancy, it boosts certain levels of, oxytocin and things like that in the brain. And it gives them a sense of comfort and warmth and safety and security. And even now with my daughter being 5 years old, and it's funny how this is because she was also breastfed as well, and I'm very, very glad that she was able to be breastfed, and shout outs to all the mothers who have been able to breastfeed their children or have at least attempted to breastfeed their child, because that just experiencing that as a father and seeing that process, I know it can be very hard on a mother's body. And I just want to say, to all the mothers who have been able to do it or have attempted to do it, shout outs to you, because, the nutrition and the just everything that you're able to provide through such a natural source of nourishment is amazing. Again, it contributes to my belief that, just innately women have strength that men will never be able to possess, and to be able to make something that will to naturally produce something that will nourish a child is amazing. The fact that a woman's body can do that is nothing short of miraculous. And so I just wanted to say that. But my daughter, she grew up with closeness. She grew up with affection. She's growing up with both of her parents showing her endless bounds of love. And when I was talking about, it's funny because when she's sleeping, she is such an affectionate child, where when she is sleeping, she has to be on you. She has to either, be up under your neck, or she has to wrap an arm around you, or like a part of your body, a part of her body has to be touching you in order for her to sleep. And she sometimes will wake up if she cannot feel you in her sleep. And I find that to be hilarious. It is hilarious, because she can sometimes wake up out of like a hard, heavy sleep, because she cannot feel you. Like she will literally scoot over to you while asleep, just to make sure that she can at least feel a part of your warmth. And of course, I attribute that to the consistent skin to skin contact that we had with her and continue to have with her from her infancy. And I don't know, it's one of those things that makes me laugh, but also it just makes me reflect on just how strong of an impact that we have on our children from the time that they're born all the way through their life. And just, man, it is one of those situations that I think about, and I am all the more thankful to be, and all the more proud to be, a father who is present in my daughter's life. Because contrary to popular belief, I actually wanted a daughter. a lot of us men, we want sons, and we want to carry on a family name or a legacy or things like that. And, we want men to, we want young men, these men to grow up and to be the strength and the pillars and all these things. But I actually wanted a daughter, and I was blessed that I have a daughter. Finding out the gender of my child and knowing that it was going to be a baby girl, it filled me up with so much joy. And not to say that I would have been disappointed if my child was a boy. I would still have the same zest and zeal, but I knew in my mind, in my heart, that it was going to be a girl, and here she is. And so I wanted to be someone who, with my child, I could give everything that I know and everything that I have to making her into the best young black woman she could be. Because again, there are a lot of, and when it comes to just the black experience as a whole, so many children do not have a father present in the home. And I think about even my experiences. I was fortunate enough to come from a 2-parent household, and I know that a lot of people who look like me don't have that experience. And and again, I want to say that just because you come from a 2-parent household, it doesn't mean that your parents are without their flaws. It doesn't mean that your parents are perfect. Mine are far from it. But just knowing that I also had, at the time of me growing up, I had 2 people that I could go to for different things. It made all the difference. It gave me different perspectives, one from a woman's side and one from a man's side. And that is something that you don't see often in our community. And it's sad. A lot of our men are broken. A lot of our men are simply here for pleasure and not for a persistent or perpetual stay in their child's life. And it's sad. It's a very, very sad fact, because again, so many black stories, black child stories, come from a place where the father is absent, and the child is left growing up and wondering what it is that they may have done to drive their father away. And it creates this unhealthy obsession with trying to reach for an absent father's approval. I've seen it so many times, and it's sad, because so many absent fathers want little or nothing to do with the children that they create. But the children end up growing up and they start to mature and start asking more in-depth questions, and they want these answers, and some of them try and find these answers themselves, only to be led down a road of disappointment. That is a lot of our stories in the black community. And for me, I wanted to be someone that could change that and be present. And that's truly where my heart is, because I want my daughter to know that the love that I have for her is real and it is endless. And she doesn't have to worry about me ever judging her or giving her things that will not allow her to succeed. I want her to know that the love that I have for her, especially when she grows up, it either has to be matched or outdone, or else it is not acceptable. Because I hold nothing back. I have cried in front of my daughter. I have laughed in front of my daughter. I have apologized to my daughter for times where even I have been out of line as a parent, not realizing that she is a child. She is new to this world, and she doesn't see this world the way that I do. I've had to come to terms with making it a priority to make sure that she understands things to the best of her ability when it comes to how we affect her and to how life affects her. And so when it comes to my daughter, I don't want her to ever be without knowledge, to ever be without information, to ever be without affection. She is going to know what love really feels like. And that is if I can do that, that will be the crowning achievement as far as who I am as a parent. So with that being said, y'all, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to dive more into it. And we're going to talk about the fact that I let my daughter paint one of my fingernails and what this actually means to me and how I see this being a black man. And so I hope you all have your water close by. Go ahead and take a drink of that. Stay hydrated, and we will be right back. This is Tarodcast. Yo, what's good, everyone? This is your host of Tarodcast, Tarod Rashan, and I just want to welcome you to the commercial break. Now, you already know what time it is. It's hydration time. Get some high-quality H2O in your system now. Got a few things I'd like to go over. First, to all of our new and returning listeners, thank you so much for your ear and your time. To all of our Patreon supporters, I just want you to know that we are not able to do this without your direct support. So the biggest, dopest Tarodcast thank you goes out to you. If you're listening in and you're thinking about becoming part of the Tarodcast Patreon family, we'd love to have you. You can find us at www.patreon.com/Tarodcast. Now on Patreon, we have 3 tiers of support. A $2 tier, a $3 tier, and lastly, a $6 tier. Each tier comes with its own set of unique perks, so if you find one that fits you, sign up. For us, the main thing is keeping our subscription prices affordable. We know that you work hard for your money, and if you choose to support Tarodcast this way, we truly want to make it worth your time. To find out more about our Patreon and the perks with each tier, visit www.patreon.com/Tarodcast. We've got it all laid out for you. Also, we've got a merchandise store. Pick up some tees, hoodies, leggings, and more at forevercertain.redbubble.com. All proceeds go right back into the Tarodcast podcast and allow us to keep making high quality content for people just like you. For our listeners out there who would like to support us in a non-monetary way, we'd love that too. Share our show with people you know. Also, share us on your social media. And if your favorite Tarodcast streaming service allows you to rate and review our show and you're loving what you're hearing, take some time and leave us a 5-star review. Ratings and reviews are what set us apart from other podcasts and also helps us to recommend our podcast to other listeners we otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to reach. Lastly, if you'd like to reach out to us directly, email us at tarodcast@CRTN-T.com. That's tarodcast@CRTN-T.com. All of this information can always be found in our episode notes, so make sure to check there if you forget any of the information we just went over. Once again, thank you all so much, and let's get back to the program. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Tarodcast. I'm your host, Tarod Rashan. And before we get back into the show, we are currently in the final voting round for the 2020 OKC People's Choice Awards. And I just want to give a very quick shout out to everyone that has voted for Tarodcast for this particular award. One of my goals for the end of this year is to say that Tarodcast is an award-winning podcast. And so in the show notes, I'm going to include the link to the voting post where all you have to do, it's on Facebook, and all you have to do is jump in the comments and just put Tarodcast in there. To everyone that has voted, thank you all so much for just taking a couple of minutes out of your busy days and busy lives to drop a Tarodcast in the comments section. A lot of you have responded in overwhelmingly positive and have dropped the Tarodcast in those comments. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone that has done so. And if you haven't, just make sure to check the show notes for the link, drop a Tarodcast, and help us bring home that award. You know, we've been going for almost a year, and how awesome would it be to have an actual award tied to Tarodcast? Like, I feel like that would be like incredibly awesome. So help Tarodcast be an award-winning podcast, even if it's just one award. That would mean the entire galaxy to me, and I don't know, if we win that award, maybe we'll do something special for all of you guys. I don't know. I'm toying around with that idea, and the more that I think about it, the more excited I get. But yeah, make sure to vote for us for the 2020 OKC People's Choice Awards for Best Podcast. So let's go ahead and get into the next segment, or probably the last segment. I don't even know if I'm going to take a break after this. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, yes, this weekend, my daughter painted one of my fingernails, and I actually painted her fingernails, and it was probably one of those processes that for me, it was so daunting that I was concentrating incredibly hard while performing the task. And my sisters had bought her some green fingernail polish, and my daughter, I swear, she's probably going to be someone's makeup prodigy, because she is someone, she really likes putting on makeup, and she really likes getting dolled up, and you know, she's at this point right now where everything to her is beautiful and everything is magical, and I want to preserve that. I want to preserve that as best as I can, because being 30, you know, I'm reaching a stage where, you know, I'm beginning to be very set in the ways that I think about certain things, and not to say that my mind can't change, but I'm starting to experience the world in a way where the things that I see and the way that I perceive people, you know, it's becoming a it's becoming a way of life where a lot of the things I believe, you know, concretely are becoming set in stone. But my daughter is in a place where she is continuously evolving. She is continuously changing. And in that change, I want to do my part in preserving the magic that she has regarding this world, because yes, she will learn that this world ultimately is trash, but there are little pockets, little springs of magic and wonder that will continue to propel her, that will continue to give her a sense of hope in this world and also within herself. And so with her, you know, I am not ashamed to say that I have let her put makeup on my face. I am not ashamed to say that I let her paint one of my fingernails. I'm actually looking at it right now, this bright green fingernail on my left hand. And I look at it and I'm just like, she did that. she painted my fingernail. I touched it up, of course, because there were a couple of spots, and I'm like, if you gonna do it, then you and I are going to make it look good. And so, I have this bright green fingernail on my hand, and I look at it, and it just reminds me of the fact that my daughter trusts me. My daughter wants to share with me the things that she likes. And as a father, specifically being a black father, or even if you're listening and if you're not Black American, being a masculine male figure in your child's life, you look at these things and you're just like, I don't want my masculinity damaged. I don't want my masculinity tarnished in any way. I don't want to walk out in this world and have people, giving me the side eye. Oh, is he gay? Because apparently being gay is the worst thing in the world. You could be a serial killer. You can be a perpetual misogynist, but being gay is the worst thing that you can be. And it's like, I look at this fingernail and I see the level of concentration my daughter put into this one fingernail. Now, granted, I was like, all right, look, you can't do all of them. Okay. Can't do all of them. I'll let you do one. And she pleaded with me to do all of them. I was like, no, you can do one. I know that sounds contradictory. I know. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? I will let you do one. I will let you do one. And she got so happy at the fact that she could paint at least one of my nails. And it's funny because she remembers when, she put makeup on my face and she was like, did I make you look beautiful? And I was like, you know what? Yes, you did. You made me look beautiful. And I appreciate you for making me look beautiful, because in her eyes, everything is beautiful. Everyone is beautiful. And that level of innocence, I want to do everything I can as a parent to just make sure that she never loses that, because there is such a huge deficit of that in this world. And for our daughters, for our Black daughters, we force them to grow up so fast. Our men force our daughters to grow up so fast to where they don't get to have a full and a whole childhood experience. They don't get to experience just doing the regular things that children do, because so many, and I hate to say this, but so many of our men are so messed up in the head to where they prey on our daughters. Like in our community, in the Black community, our children are sexualized, before and during the time where they start to develop. I'm talking about 11, 12, 13 years old. You go into some of our communities and grown men are literally like catcalling these preteen young Black girls, and they are sexualizing them in such a way to where it damages how they are able to see the world. And there are other cultures out here who have the privilege of not even understanding the level and the gravity of what that is. Not to say that it doesn't happen in other cultures that aren't Black American, but the level of it is astounding. And I'm pretty sure that if you are a Black woman listening to this show right now, you can recall a time where in your younger years, you remember experiencing this behavior from an older Black man and being sexualized in such a way when you were still literally a child, a preteen or a child. child and not even understanding what that was. And for me, I look at this fingernail. I'm looking at it right now, and it fills me with so much hope. It fills me with so much happiness, and there really is no real explanation why, but it's when I try and decipher it, it's love that I see, because just watching her, with the little polished brush, and watching the level of toddler meticulousness that she is putting into making this fingernail look exactly like hers. There's so much about it that is it's so wholesome. It's so wholesome, and our children need that. I'm not at a point in my life where I'm even worried about what people are thinking or what they will think upon seeing it, because I just go about my regular day. But there are a lot of fathers out here who I know for a fact they would not allow their daughter to do anything feminine to their face, like put makeup on or do anything that could be considered feminine, like painting a fingernail or painting a toenail or anything like that, because of how they believe they would be perceived by the rest of the world. But for me, I am at a point in my life where it's like, you know what? I simply don't care. I don't care. I'm not even drawing attention to it. And if somebody sees it and they think a certain thing, that's for them, because their thoughts don't run my life. They don't. They simply don't. And I'm not going to give them that power. I don't care if you think I'm gay or not. I don't care if you feel a certain way or any kind of way about it. I simply do not care, because my daughter's happiness is worth more than any thought that you have towards my manhood. And I know that because my daughter looks at me and she sees that I will give her that freedom to express what she likes with me, it does not matter what anybody else has to say. It does not matter what anyone else thinks. Because my daughter looks at me and she sees me as a person that she can come to. One of the things that I really and truly appreciate about her is the fact that, right now she's in the age where, she's really testing boundaries. She's really trying to solidify her independence, and she wants her voice to be as equal in our house as possible. And we have given her that reign to do so. And one of the things that really sticks out to me is that even, it could be something that happens at 10 in the morning, and she does something or says something that upsets me. And I kid you not, at like 8 or 9 or 10 p.m., she will still have that thing on her mind, and she will apologize for it, well after the fact. And it just, just even thinking about that, the fact that she, whatever length of time it takes for her to realize what she did or what she's doing, she still has the compassion to apologize if she upsets one of us. And it's one of those things where it's like, what, we done probably forgot about it. We done already gotten throughout the majority of the day, but she still remembers, and she finds that to be important. And we acknowledge that. And honestly, that is going to be something that for her, as she continues to get older, being able to admit if you've done something wrong, that earns you respect. And I feel like because we model that for her, she's going to know what respect really is. It's not this blind obedience. No, it's being able to understand your actions and how they affect others, and to be able to have accountability. And that's a huge word, especially for a 5-year-old, to have accountability for her actions, and being able to just know that, you know what, maybe I did something wrong, or I made mommy or daddy upset, and to apologize for it. Like, I take that incredibly seriously, because these are going to be traits that are going to build her up in her life. These are going to be the things that set her apart from other people as she grows up. And I want her to look at these things as important. I want her to view herself as important, because the world and many of our men will not. They simply won't. But at home, she's going to have that safe haven where her mind, her truth, her beliefs, everything that she loves will always be important and always be accepted. So when I look at this fingernail, I think about the fact that my daughter has that magic, and she trusts me and she loves me. And in closing, I hope that for all of the Black fathers out there, for all the fathers in general who have daughters, and as they continue to grow up and mature and learn things about themselves and participate in interests and things like that they like, I encourage you to be an active participant in that. Please be an active participant in that, because this is going to be, these are going to be the things that shape how our daughters will view our men, how our daughters will view the world. And we have the ability to play a role in that. We have every single inkling of what's the word I'm looking for? I can't believe I'm doing this right now at the end of the show. But we have the charge to do that. We are going to be the ones shaping how our children go out and live and move and impact others. And if we can play an active role in doing this, then little by little we are going to be able to shape and to reshape the way that this world ultimately runs. Like, just think about that. Being present, being loving, being someone who is truly and unashamedly open with their children, that's going to give them what they need to demand that from other people. You know, we'll be able to break cycles all over the place. And for me, that is an accomplishment. That is something that I yearn for when it comes to how we are able to impact one another in this world. So with that being said, y'all, that's our show. I'm still looking at this fingernail. But y'all know where to find us. You know how to reach us. You know how to support us. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. And also, vote for us. That 2020 OKC People's Choice Awards. I just want to also say that whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope that you will always trust in who you are. Believe in yourself. Love who you are. You matter in this world. Our children matter in this world. And so just know that I love you. I appreciate you. I've been your host, Tarod Rashan, and this has been Tarodcast. And like always, I hope that you make every effort to find and keep your peace. Till next time.